Can the Detroit Pistons make this 0-1 hole disappear tonight against the Orlando Magic?
This is Locked On Bets, the daily betting show that means business from the Locked On Podcast Network. Hosted by Lee Sterling and Kevin Rogers, they're dropping fearless picks with an inside edge to put money in your pocket. If there's action, they've got the lock. This is where smart bets start. It's Locked On Bets.
Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Locked On Bets. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports with you. And as always, we appreciate you making Locked On Bets your first listen of the day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. And I got plenty to get to today. NFL Draft just tomorrow night, 1 day away. We've made it. And we'll have a lock on one of the quarterbacks, Ty Simpson of Alabama, where he'll land. We'll talk about that coming up. Also, Major League Baseball, NBA playoffs. They're getting hot and heavy right now. A couple dogs came through last night. The Blazers won on the road at San Antonio. The 76ers, big upset there. Lee Sterling called it, taking the points of Philadelphia against Boston. But let's now head to tonight's action with the Magic and the Pistons in Detroit in our NBA blowout special.
Oh, boy. Last one out, turn off the lights. This one's a blowout.
So the only wire-to-wire true underdog that came through during the first 2 days was the Magic. I know the Lakers were a dog in the first game against the Rockets, but Kevin Durant was out. And let's just say the mismatch among all the teams, a 1 versus 8, Detroit a 1, Orlando the 8 after having to beat Charlotte to get in, and Orlando stunned Detroit in game 1. Now it goes to game 2, pivotal game for the Pistons, and Detroit laying around 7.5 here tonight. Lee, what do you like in game 2 between the Pistons and the Magic?
Well, last night we saw the Philadelphia 76ers bring the energy. And when you bring energy, gives you a much better chance of winning a game offensively and defensively. So that's what happened in the first game. Orlando wins 112-101. Just seemed like they were shot out of a rocket. And they were just ready to go, and Detroit like stuck in the mud. It was like a regular season game. So we talked about adjustments. First game to second game. We saw last night Philadelphia make those adjustments. I think Detroit is going to make those adjustments here. So I think they're going to bring energy here. They weren't closing out on defense. I mean, they were not. You know, when a guy was beating a guy, there wasn't a guy stepping forward, and the rotation wasn't there on defense, wasn't the movement on offense. Their leading scorer, Cade Cunningham, had 39. But after that, Tobias Harris, 17. Your third leading scorer was Duncan Robinson with 9 points. Are you kidding me? On the other side, Orlando, every starter, double figures. Off the bench, the 4 guys that played, the worst guy from the field was 3 for 7. I mean, usually got a guy 1 for 5, 1 for 6, a couple of them, and they're not known for a strong bench. I don't like this Orlando bench. They might have to go to someone early, maybe, who knows, maybe because of foul trouble. Everything went their way in the first game here. So I expect Detroit here to come out firing on all cylinders, bringing the energy offensively and defensively and making those adjustments, which Orlando set the tone for. I'm laying the 8.5 here. Blowout special. Detroit Pistons, big tonight over the Orlando Magic. And
just to follow up on the Philadelphia game from last night, the Celtics were up early in that one. Look at the Celtics were going to run them out. Philadelphia couldn't hit a shot, and then Philadelphia turned things on once that second quarter came around and took the lead at the half. And just a stunning performance. Now, I don't know if Philadelphia is going to win that series, but as far as what you said with the 76ers, yeah, no Joel Embiid, but there's still talent on that team with Tyrese Maxey, with Edgecombe, who didn't play well in game 1, but shot the ball well in game 2, and Paul George, that there's still guys out there that can maybe counter what Boston does if the Celtics don't hit their shots.
That's right, and they're going home. All Philadelphia needs to do is at least split, and they're still in it here. So I think they'll take one of the 2 games at home. Joel Embiid, I mean, usually it takes 2 weeks to come back from appendectomy now. It's not like they cut you open. It's just – I'm shocked that he's not on the verge of coming back here. Maybe this will get him to want to come back and play. So that'll be interesting to see what happens. Kevin Durant came back last night for Houston, but even though he scored like 23 points, was really not much of a factor.
Do you think the Rockets are done, or they still got a shot going home down 2-0?
Something's wrong. Something's seriously wrong with this team. And you lose both games, and you're a 5-point favorite both games. Something's wrong. So that must win. Got to win both games. And LeBron looks like the LeBron of old. So give the Lakers credit. LeBron is, he's in charge, and he's feeding people, and the rest of his teammates, they're feeding off that energy.
This will be interesting, too, in the Portland-San Antonio series. Victor Wembanyama left. He hit his face in the court, had a concussion. The Blazers won that game. Now they're going back to Portland, 1-1. This will be interesting now to see. San Antonio's had a great season. We had talked about if they faced Oklahoma City in the conference finals, what they can do. They beat them 4 times, but now it's not even a lock. They can get out of this round depending on Wemby's condition.
Yeah, he misses 2-3 games. I mean, look out. Portland is playing with a lot of confidence, very athletic team. And we said if they get in, they're the one team, in the Western Conference that could get in of those 4 teams that could probably do some damage. And they sure did.
In the NHL, a quick recap from last night. So you had 2 games go to overtime. Colorado, they beat LA, another close game. The Kings scored a goal late in the third to go up 1-0. The Avalanche tied it a few minutes later, and Colorado won in overtime. So Colorado up 2-0. That hasn't been as easy as it seemed when that matchup came out. But Utah wins at Vegas, so now they go 1-1 back to Salt Lake, which is pretty interesting, the way the Golden Knights have played down the stretch. But also, too, how about Boston? They blew game 1. They roll in game 2 over Buffalo. Now they're going back to TD Garden. So really, you don't have a lot of locks here moving forward. Yeah, you got to believe Carolina and Colorado are 2 teams that will probably end up advancing in the second round. I think it's hard to see LA and Ottawa coming back in those series, but I feel like everything else is kind of up for grabs at this point.
You nailed it. Those 2 series, even though Colorado's not playing great also, they should win that series, but has been a little closer than we thought. That Buffalo-Boston series, the Buffalo series, really interesting. So They came back and won the first game, but I thought they were the better team. They dominated play. So might be looking to take Buffalo in the next game. We'll see how that turns out.
Well, you saw Josh Allen was hitting the drum before the game. I mean, he just wanted to continue Buffalo's postseason demise in every sport. So that's just the way it turns out with the Sabres. The Bills doesn't really make a difference. They just can't get it done in the postseason. So let's go to baseball now. And the interleague matchup between the Pirates and the Rangers, and tonight's Hidden Gem.
To find a diamond in the rough, you need to dig a little deeper for those hidden gems.
Texas captured the opening game with Pittsburgh last night, 5-1 in Arlington. And tonight, basically this one's a pick 'em. We're going to look at the Pittsburgh Pirates here, full game against the Texas Rangers to even up this series at 1 game apiece. Now, all the talk with the Pirates, with their pitching staff, is Paul Skeens, but Braxton Ashcroft has actually pitched pretty well in his opportunities. His last 3 starts, he's picked up at least 7 strikeouts each time. Last time out against the Nationals, the Pirates lost in extra innings, but he has pitched very well this season. How about this number, Lee? Pittsburgh, 8-0 their last 8 off a loss, so they don't lose consecutive games. They've only lost consecutive games once, which was against the Mets to begin the season, which seems like eons ago. But also Texas in game 2s this year, they've struggled the last 5. They've just won once in the past 5 opportunities. And the Rangers just been up and down. Jack Leiter gets the ball for Texas tonight. They won his last start against the A's, but he has not really been consistent. I like this Ashcroft. He's Ashcraft, I should say. I call him Ashcroft. It's Ashcraft. And he's pitched well so far. He's turning into a legit number 2 behind Paul Skeens in this Pittsburgh rotation. Pirates still playing well in spite of that loss last night. Let's take Pittsburgh here, laying 105 against Texas as our MLB Hidden Gem.
I don't mind taking Pittsburgh first couple months of the season, at home, especially coming off of a loss. After that, that gets a little dicey. Usually they start falling apart, but early in the season, they got some fight in them.
Pretty interesting how the NL Central, all 5 teams above 500. So everybody's a winner right now, and we'll see how long that lasts moving forward. Coming up, we're going to take a look at the NFL Draft. It's coming up tomorrow night in Pittsburgh, and Ty Simpson of Alabama, where will he land? That is the big question That is straight ahead. You are listening to the Tuesday edition of, actually, what's today? Today's Wednesday. We've lost track of the days, Lee. This is what happens when you're sick. It's the Wednesday edition of Locked On Bets. Let's talk now about FanDuel and the NBA playoffs. Man, they are getting interesting right now. A couple dogs came through last night. They're barking. You wonder if it's going to continue moving forward. So the NBA playoffs are here. Every possession matters. Every matchup is magnified. Every game can swing a series. And right now, FanDuel is giving new customers a great way to get in on the action. You can bet just $5. You get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. The app is really easy to follow. You want to handicap your games through FanDuel's app, you can do it because they have player stats, trends, and matchups all in one place, and plenty of opportunities to take money lines, spreads, totals, player props for these games. Also, now that the odds have been adjusted maybe a little bit for winning the NBA Finals with some of these teams, Detroit lost to Orlando in Game 1, so we'll see if you get some value on Detroit, you want to back them. Also, San Antonio just lost to Portland, so that's 1-1. Maybe you want to back them, even though Wemby's a little banged up. But still, Oklahoma City, they are the favorite. They're facing Phoenix tonight at OKC. So a lot of choices you have. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel, play your game. We continue Locked On Bets here on a Wednesday. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports. NFL draft tomorrow night. We know Fernando Mendoza is going to go number 1 to the Raiders. Most likely, we can say that. But Ty Simpson of Alabama, who made a name for himself with the Crimson Tide this year, where will he go? That is the big question. So it's time now for our lock of the day.
Open it, open it, open it. Lee has the key to the lock of the day.
Before we get to the draft position question, Lee, and where you think he'll end up, the rumor was that Ty Simpson was offered $6.5 million to play at Miami, and he turned it down.
Should have taken it.
Yeah.
Number one, it's guaranteed. You get the $6.5 million, and number two, if he falls to the second round, that money goes way down. So I think he was looking ahead and seeing all these really good quarterbacks next year. There could be 5 or 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round, and that's probably what scared him off. So he realized this is a quarterback depth shy draft, and I don't think it's a great draft altogether. I think it might be one of the worst of the last century. So that's why I think he came out. Now, the question is, do you bet Ty Simpson here minus 200 that he'll get drafted in the first round? And look at the teams that would possibly draft him. Well, the Cardinals would love to draft him, but they're not going to draft him number 3, obviously. I think they're looking to trade down. Let's say they get a pick in the late teens, early to mid-20s. I think they would be a really good dance partner. The Jets possibly at 16 could be the guy. He could be the guy that they draft. Steelers need a quarterback. They've been, investing in quarterbacks lately. Haven't found that guy. All it takes is one. The Rams, Stafford, how much longer is he going to be quarterbacking? Even Cleveland, just takes one team to fall in love with him. And I'm going to give you 2 teams that if he is still there, I would not be shocked if he's drafted. Is Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield is good, but is he great? Is he getting up there? Is he having some durability issues? I mean, he's playing with some injuries, and I don't know how he did it last year. And they've never had a backup. And even Philadelphia, the Eagles. So I think the Eagles, who knows, might end up drafting a quarterback. So they're not able to push the ball down the field. So I'm going to take Ty Simpson here, minus 200 here, that he will get drafted in the first round. It's going to be a level 2 lock.
Yeah, it's interesting, the point of next year, what's the class? You have Arch Manning coming out, and you got a lot of other good names that'll be there. And maybe, you figure, who would have thought Fernando Mendoza would be the number 1 pick of the draft? Not many people thought that going into this year. But, yeah, Ty Simpson, look, yeah, you're taking a calculated risk, so we'll see that turns out and where he ends up getting selected tomorrow night. So, Lee, very big week continuing. Major League Baseball, obviously a big day today, but NBA playoffs in full force, Stanley Cup playoffs, it's getting really good, and the NFL draft tomorrow night. So what's going on with Paramount Sports?
Yeah, so UFC, there's a couple late additions that were added. There's a couple guys that ended up not being able to fight, so they added a couple fighters there recently. So we're studying those fights. We'll have the fights probably out around midnight, 1 a.m. So for the UFC. So just a couple weeks ago, Miami went 7-0-1, won 297 units on that card. So look for the UFC card to be up by tomorrow when you watch our podcast, and also player props. I mean, we've had an incredible run. Had a rare losing day on the player props in Major League Baseball yesterday, 1-3, but before that on a 13-3 run. 10 days, just $97 there. NBA playoffs, just $97. NHL playoffs, just $97. Check out all the specials or reach out to me personally, 800-400-9741.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Locked On Bets, as well as the podcast version you can find on Spotify, Apple, or get your podcast. Type in Locked On Bets, and you'll be all set. For Lee Sterling, I am Kevin Rogers. Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of Locked On Bets right here on the Locked On Podcast Network.